Hello, in today's video we are going to speak how to create custom methods in C# for your video game development. So first I will write a method and I will explain how it works. So public void my method, and that's our first method here. As you remember from first episode, we can the same for us for the variables. We can define the level or the level of access to our method. So here I wrote a public. As you remember, we could write public, private, or static. It works the same for the methods as it works for the variables. In the second position here we have name void. Void means that our method doesn't return any type. I will show you the method which returns type, but for now let's write. You can see here that it doesn't return any type, and my method is the name of your method you will call or refer to from other scripts, or for example we can write my method in the start, and on the start of our script our my method will be called. So here you put your code. Put here. Okay. Of course, as I said, this method can return some types. So if I would wrote, for example, integer, so here we have error now, and now our method should return some value of type integer. So it should return, for example, x. Sorry. Let's write x, and here we would need to have define x. So it should for example, x equal to 0. And now it will not return any errors. We could, of course, define our integer here on start in our code. So if you would call this method, it would return value 0. So for test, we can write it. And maybe let's make it different. So for the test, when the method is called to show you, let's write debug dot log. Let's write let's write something like that, method called. So we will know that our method was maybe let's write executed. And here let's write void. So now, for you to understand how it works, let's go to our Unity. Let's create. Here we have tutorial, empty game object. Let's remove script from episode 2. And now we have our script, which is called episode 3. This is our script here, episode 3 we are working with. And now I have my method, but I haven't called it anywhere, so I haven't put it on start or on update. So if I will press play, no debug log was shown. Okay, so as I said, for the method to be called, and it needs for the method to be executed, it needs to be called from some other functions or other methods or anywhere in your scripts in your game. So if I will put it in start, and if I will press play now, you can see here on the console that method is executed. The debug log saying that method was executed. Okay. So that's how the method works. And for you to be more, to show you it in a more clear way, I write some methods that will help you to understand how the method works better. Okay, so as you remember from our first episode, you can write something like private score. Let's say it's score equal to 100. And now we don't have any possibility. Sorry, private int score equal to 100, and now we can't show it in any way But if we would call our method on start of our game, we could get something like, let's write get score, here on start, and let's put score in our debug log. So here our private, we can't get our private value in any way, because only way to access it when it's private is through method. Okay, so now we can show our score, and if I press play now, you can see here this is not public value, and now it's showing 100. Okay, so we can do another exercise. We could, for example, get score, and it's now I will show you how it's properly done. So if we have encapsulated score value, which is private, we should write functions called getters and setters to work with private values. And one of that function would be if we would write something like public int get score, and we would write return and return score. So that way we are returning score value if we will call that function. So to show it, we can write something like, let's say we want public value with score. Let's write public score. Okay. And why I'm showing this to you is that you can, using the function, get some values, and you can give, for example, if we have public score, we can set public score value using our getter to set the public score value. So if I write public score now is equal to get score, so I'm accessing the score from our script through that function, and here you can see here we have public score equal to 0, and if I will press play, now the function was executed, the method was executed, and the score value was set to 100 from our script. And as I said before, you should write the functions if you have private values, the functions that you will access your score with. So we have one way of getting how to get our score, but we would also be able, to be able to set our score in some way. So for that, let's write public void. So this function will not return any type, it will work with this value, but there will be something new. Let's write add score, and here in the parentheses we can provide some values to our functions. So let's say now to our function that we want to add score of some value. So let's write int that score to add, and this is that. Now let's write it here. If we will write add score, we need to write here some value that will be used inside our method here. Okay, so let's write here 10. Okay, that's for now. Let's write 10. So now we'll work with this value, and this value is actually the value we provided here. So this will be value of 10 in our case. If we would write, for example, 5, this will be value of 5 here. Okay, so let's write 10, and now if I will write score plus equal score to add, this what we have here is the same as we would write, I will write it here, score equal to score plus score to add. It just this is just a shorter version of this function. Okay, so now we're writing this function that we want to execute it here, and as you remember, we set the score here to 100, and now to our score we will add 10, value of 10, which is shown here. So let's check how it works inside the Unity. And here we have public score for 0 now, and we will have the result of 100 plus 10, so it means we have 110 here. I hope it's clear. If not, please write in comments, so I will provide additional explanation if something is unclear. Okay, and another useful usage of methods would be to write a method that will allow our player, for example, to take damage. So to do that, let's write public int health, and let's create our method now. So our method will be public void take damage, and here let's write int damage to take. This will be damage amount our player will take when the function is called. So here let's write health is minus equal to damage to take. So it's of course shorter sentence for health equal to health minus damage to take. Similar how it was done here. Okay, so let's press Ctrl S, and now what I will show you, it will be different possibility to call the methods. We'll create a button that we will use to call our method. So here our method was called when our start is when our where our game object is instantiated with our start function. But now we'll call this method using button. So to do that, let's go to Unity, and here let's create our button. So let's go to right click UI button. You can use button or text message pro button. Here our button was created, so let's make a proper button. So let's press Ctrl Shift Alt, it will be moved, let's press Shift Alt, choose this one, it will move to the center of your screen. Let's change the width to let's do it quickly. This is the size for me, 200 and 250. Let's change the text size to something that human can see, like 80. And now we have inside our button, here when you press on your button, you have events. So to call our function, for example, to take damage, we can call our functions here also on the buttons. When we press our buttons, it's very useful to create menus. So let's move our tutorial script here, and let's choose our function from our script name episode 3. Let's use function take damage. Here we provide how much damage we want to take. So let's write 1, and every time we press our button, we'll take damage of value 1. So now let's press tutorial, and here you can see here our health value is 0. So let's write, for example, 15. So our default health when we press play will be 15. So let's press play now. And now if we press button, we take damage of value 1 every time we press button, and our health drops. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I hope you liked today's video, and if you do, please don't forget to press the subscribe button and to press the like button. Okay, if you have any questions, please write them in the comments. I'm sure I will answer them. So thank you very much for watching and have a nice day. Bye.